In this question, we're being told that white shapes and black shapes are used in a game. Some shapes are circles and other shapes are squares, which means we can have either white shapes or, sorry, white circles or white squares or black circles or black squares. Okay. And we're being told that the ratio of white shapes to black shapes is 3:7. White circles to white squares is 4:5. Black circles to black squares is 2:5. And the question is saying, what fraction of all shapes are circle? Okay, so the fraction of all shapes that are circles, we need to understand that you can have black shapes that are circles and white shapes that are circles, right? So fraction of all shapes that are circles is going to be fraction of, so let me just use a different color here. So the fraction of all shapes that are circles is going to be fraction of black shapes that are circles, and plus we have to add that to the fraction of white shapes that are circles. So fraction of white shapes that are circles. Okay, so let's work out the left-hand side. So fraction of black shapes that are circles. Okay, so we know that white shapes to black shapes is 3:7, right? So what is the fraction of black shapes to all shapes? So what fraction of all shapes are black shapes, right? So what fraction of all shapes are black? Okay, so let's find that. What fraction of all shapes that are black? Well, the ratio is 3:7 for white to black, and the number that represents black is 7. So if there's 3 plus 7, 10 shapes in total, 7 are black. So what fraction of all shapes are black? It's 7/10. Okay, the next question we need to ask ourselves is, we know that the fraction of all shapes that are black is 7/10. Now, what fraction of these are circles, right? So what fraction of black shapes are circle? Okay, so let's go to the statement that talks about black shapes. So black circles to black squares is 2:5, which means if there's 2 plus 5, 7 black shapes, then two out of them are black circles. So the fraction would be 2/7. Okay, so now to find the fraction of black shapes that are circles, we need to multiply these two fractions together, because of all the shapes that are black, the fraction of black shapes that are circle is going to be the product of the two fractions. So 7/10 times 2/7, which is 14/70. Now, if you divide them both by 2, we get 7/35. And if we divide them both by 5, we get 1/5. All right. Okay, so let's work out the right-hand side, the fraction of white shapes that are circles. Okay, in the same way, we're going to find what fraction of all shapes are white. Okay, so 7/10 are black, so 3/10 are white. And then we're going to have to find what fraction of white shapes are circles. Okay, so the fraction of white shapes that are circles, we can get it from here. So if there is 9, 4 plus 5, 9 white shapes, then white circles will be 4. So 4/9. In the same way we times the fractions for black, we times the fractions for white. So 3/10 times 4/9, that is 12/90. And if we divide them by 2, that's 6/45. Dividing them by 3 will give us 2/15. Okay, so we've got 1/5 and 2/15. And remember what we have to do? We have to add them, right? So let's add them both. So 1/5 plus 2/15. Now to add fractions, we need common denominator. So let's multiply 5 with 3 and 1 with 3. So that's going to be 3/15 plus 2/15. And that is going to be 5/15 or 1/3. So I'm just going to write the simplest fraction. So 5/15 or 1/3. That's 5/15. And that is equal to 1/3 if we divide them both by 5. Now, there is another way to do this question, which is to, so this method was using fractions, and the other method is going to be using ratios. And we'll walk through that in the next video.